Three quarter-finals set up here in Riesa at the International Darts Open. The unseeded James Richardson takes on Simon Whitlock. Darren Webster faces another unseeded player in Danny Noppert. And Steve West, another guy who had to come through a qualifier to be here, goes up against jackpot Adrian Lewis. We know that in the final quarter-final it will be another seeded player versus an unseeded player, because Ryan Searle and Martin Schindler, who came through their respective qualifiers, will face off in the final game of the afternoon session and take on the winner of this clash between the seeds number 8 and 9, the Grand Prix champion Daryl Gurney and the UK Open runner-up of last year and fellow Premier League star, the Iceman Gerwyn Price. It is the number 1 from Northern Ireland versus the number 1 from Wales for a spot in the quarter-finals. Neither man has won a Euro Tour title. Adrian Lewis has won 1. It was 6 years ago. He's in this half of the draw. Simon Whitlock has won 1. That was a fair few years ago as well. He's in the other half of the draw. Everybody else is chasing a first success on the European circuit. Not sure where Kirk Bevins had gone there, or what he was up to. Rob Malarkey, can you shed any light on it?
Well, just before we went on stage, he reminded me that it was my turn at Words for Friends. I don't think that's got anything to do with it.
Oh, we're changing the numbers, are we?
We're changing the numbers. Now, my idea to, if you want a new format for darts, you spin the numbers around the wheel, and wherever they land, that's where you've got to go. Let's have a go at that. Let's see what happens.
Our spotters have got a hard enough job as it is.
Random rotation of the numbers before the start of play. New format for the European Tour next year. Don't rule it out.
Wow. I mean, it could happen. Super Chin and the Iceman.
Who would thrive in that format?
Simon Whitlock would be very good because he loves leaving all the doubles. So he doesn't matter. He doesn't care what double he has to go for. He practices them all religiously. Gerwyn Price probably wouldn't.
England gentlemen,
He only leaves double top.
throw first. Game on.
Anyway, away from the realms of fantasy, let's get back to the matter in hand. This is a place for the quarterfinals, or a place in the quarterfinals of the International Darts Open. And you have to say, Dan, as well, if this one goes the way of the majority of the previous encounters between these two, then it should be another win for Gerwyn Price. 7 previous encounters,
83.
and the Welshman has won 6 of them, as far as I can see.
There was also a draw in the Premier League as well.
There was, yes. You are quite right. So 8 previous encounters. Gurney, nevertheless, has only won 1 of them.
That was a big day for Daryl Gurney, though. He beat Gerwyn Price in a semi-final on the Pro Tour and went on to claim his first PDC title. It was not long after that he became the Grand Prix champion. But the Iceman piles in the first 180 of this encounter. You could see a lot of those in this game.
I'm surprised that they've never met on the Euro Tour before, but they did meet in the European Championship itself 2 years ago. And that also was won by Gerwyn Price in the last 32 by 6 legs to 4.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Daryl Gurney became one of the world's best players. Arguably, 2017 was the year that he made that gigantic leap up, obviously by winning the Grand Prix, but all the stuff that went before it, regularly in the semi-finals and quarter-finals of the big TV events, winning a Pro Tour for the first time. All of this stuff for Gurney was when he was winning games regularly and averaging 100 on a regular basis, and yet Gerwyn Price would still beat him, and beat him regularly. Beat him at the Masters at the start of this year. They drew in the Premier League. He beat him 4 times in Barnsley over the last couple of years. Tops and tens are where Gerwyn Price makes a living, but he does not reap the benefits this time around. Treble 18 for double 12. Not to be.
58. Going you require 20. Cash on the first leg, Gerwyn Price.
Well, Gerwyn Price began his campaign yesterday with a 6-3 win over John Henderson. He wasn't too sharp on his doubles, but he was there. There were times when he just gave Henderson a little bit of encouragement. he said himself afterwards, he admitted in his interview on stage with Elmar Polka that his finishing has been nowhere near the standard that he wants it to be.
Here we go.
140.
Daryl Gurney beat Robert Marjanovic by 6 legs to 2. When you look at their respective performances, Gurney and Price, in the second round yesterday, there is only 0.01 difference in the averages. So it's fair to say that they were playing at a very similar level. And it was good enough to get their respective jobs done against Big Hendo
96.
in the Rob start.
Yeah. Price was 6 from 20 on his finishing. Gurney was 6 from 14. So very, very similar standards yesterday. Gerwyn Price just checking that everything's in order on the board. Yes. Very, very nicely done by Daryl Gurney.
Now, what has Gerwyn Price actually got here? Has he got 225 or has he got 229? I think that's why he was glancing at the scoreboard. Just
he's looking again now as if to say, hang on.
59. Daryl, you require 94.
Well,
He keeps
59.
on looking over, doesn't he?
I'm 50. I think he's left 170. I think our scoreboard may be wrong.
Let's have a look.
And it does matter.
Gerwyn, you require 170.
He has left 170. There we go. Gerwyn Price does have an outshot, but he's not going to take it out.
And this is why there's a little bit of confusion in the crowd as well, because they can see the same scoreboard that you can on the screen there, and it has been readjusted.
Yes, on the second leg, Daryl. Third leg is Daryl to throw first.
So trading
Game
breaks
on.
a throw in the opening couple of legs. Gerwyn Price still hobbling about a little bit after the surgery he had on his Achilles over the summer. Only just been able to take off the big moon boot that he was using as protection so he can play games.
140.
Daryl Gurney, a guy who knows all about injuries that can curtail your darting abilities. He smashed his hand up
100.
and broke several bones in his throwing hand that he was genuinely concerned it was going to end his career at one
96.
stage. I remember him flying out to a Eurotour. It may well have been here, where his intention, having qualified for it and then smashed his hand up, his intention was to turn up, get the cast cut off so he could go up there, throw 3 darts and then withdraw injured so he could claim his prize money.
It was
That was not acceptable. I'll tell you what, if you're going to do that and then find out that it isn't acceptable to do, you'd have wished it was a Eurotour a little bit easier to get to than this one.
Yeah, I think it was 2016.
96.
Well, Gerwyn will have another look at this 170. And again, he's low on the treble 20.
58.
He doesn't set it up quite as nicely as he might have done.
Yeah, it was 2016. And so we had an extra host nation qualifier. Michael van Gerwen withdrew as well.
80.
And it was Ryan Meikle who was handed a bye into round 2.
Ryan Meikle.
Or round 3, actually.
I remember Jordi Maywisser benefited as well.
Yep. He got to the quarterfinals.
Tops.
72.
Not there.
Daryl, you require
Again, we
66.
see Gerwyn Price's desperation to leave double top at every available opportunity. 18 scored. So 16 for double.
50. Gerwyn, you require 40. Okay, shot the third leg. Gerwyn
Well, of late, Daryl Gurney has struggled to make his way into the evening session on the final day. He did make the semi-finals in Zwolle earlier this year, but since then he's had 5 European Tour events. He's been eliminated in the third round at 4 of them. He was a second round victim in Denmark as well. So parallels with Daryl Webster, I suppose, to some extent, although not as severe.
Yeah, well, just in general, I think that Daryl Gurney, that weekend in Zwolle, having played constantly, playing everything on the tour, Daryl Gurney travels to all the Pro Tour events, all the Euro Tours that he qualifies for, and of course getting into the seedings helps the fact that you don't have to play the qualifiers, you're in there. And playing very well. It was Zwolle where he missed the opportunity. Should have beaten Michael van Gerwen and perhaps should have claimed his first Euro Tour title. And it was at that moment where he suddenly started looking exhausted. And right the way through, as Gerwyn Price fires back with his second 180. Neither man on a finish as yet. Who's got the better setup shot? Yeah, it was right until the summer break then. He didn't make it past the last 16 of any tournament. Daryl Gurney looked 65. Wiped out. Not playing anywhere near his best. He could not wait for a break. And he's got one. He's come back this September and he looks sharper and he looks more at it.
131.
That's the first real
16.
Shout from Gerwyn Price. We heard that a few times yesterday as he G's himself up and keeps himself going.
92.
Not his favourite double this though. Always wants tops. Always wants tops and 12s, sometimes 18s. Double 16 isn't his friend.
Yeah, shot the fourth leg.
And there's the reaction once again.
Game on.
Why would you be his friend when you keep shouting like that at it?
2 breaks to 1.
140.
Gerwyn Price has 2 PDC titles to his name.
One of them a big one.
Well, Daryl Gurney does.
No,
sorry.
Yeah, Gerwyn Price has 2. He won them back-to-back on the Pro Tour. But it was one of those Pro Tour days where some of the top boys had skipped it.
60.
And some people have raised their eyebrows and go, well, he wasn't there and he wasn't there. I don't care. I think you've seen over the last
59.
few months, and particularly this month, particularly on the Euro Tour this year, just because you're not a Premier League star does not mean you're not able to go and throw massive averages and win
58.
titles. Look at what Nathan Aspinall did midweek in Barnsley. Ryan Searle has suddenly found himself able to go and put in big displays. It is harder than ever to win PDC titles with the strength in depth, and any title you claim is a big, big accolade. And he won 2 back-to-back.
100.
Gerwyn Price has got a very, very impressive A-game that can live with the best players in the world. He is a major finalist, of course, the UK Open final, only beaten by Peter Wright.
Daryl 143.
He wasn't far off claiming one of these Euro Tours earlier this year in Graz when he lost the all-Welsh final to the Ferret. In his 2-match darts against Steve West earlier on.
59. Daryl 57.
The doubles are proving problematic for the Northern Irishman. There's a murmur around the Saxon Arena at the minute. They know what's coming up. They know that their man Martin Schindler is going to step on stage. The culmination of these games, look to make the quarterfinals. He will face the winner of this one. And Daryl Gurney could be that man.
Game on.
Gerwyn still in the ascendancy, but you just suspect that Gurney is more than capable of fighting back here. Gerwyn Price made the quarterfinals in Riesa last year. It was one of 8 quarterfinals in the second half of 2017 for Gerwyn Price.
140.
He was really consistent over the last 6 months of 2017, and of course he had that reward of the Premier League place, and obviously that didn't go the way that he would have liked. It was a difficult assignment for him, and he looked like a man who couldn't wait for it to end by the time he was eliminated. But it's all about how he's recovered, and it's not been helped by the fact he's had this injury as well. He's had a lot to deal with as Gerwyn Price.
Yeah, he has, but you know, there's this idea that you go in the Premier League and you end up bottom and losing all the time, and it somehow ruins you. Well, the two guys who've been eliminated on Judgment Night this year, Mensur Suljovic and Gerwyn Price. Well, Mensur has gone on and won titles since then. And Gerwyn Price, well, apart from a little sort of 6-week spell where he wasn't playing particularly well, he's not let it affect his season. He's consistently been making quarterfinals. That final in Austria, of course. Could be another quarterfinal here.
And of course he had to juggle everything with the World Series assignments that he had as well.
Well, Gurney there has gone ton 40 to leave 21. Was that particularly wise?
96, Daryl 21.
Will the end justify the means here? Double 8 for Gurney. But he will now have to watch his step, and maybe, just maybe,
look, there is
something in the crowd. They turned around and glared at somebody.
Well, he should be glaring at himself, because he could have had 3 darts at double, but he only had 2. And 2 wasn't enough for Daryl Gurney, but it was for Gerwyn Price.
So they get Daryl to throw first.
Well, plenty of weight behind this down. What's all that about? I mean, Gerwyn Price, as we know, is not shy when it comes to celebrating, clinching an important leg like that. But I've never seen a reaction like that.
Oh, it's just...
I mean, apart from Austria, of course. I mean, that was very...
good. That's what Gerwyn Price is about.
But
look, this man hasn't been able to do that for the last few months.
I'm all for it.
He's loving it.
And he'll keep on doing it. Not criticising it. It was just a sudden step up, wasn't it?
Well, let's see if it riles Gurney.
Well, let's see. It could do.
140.
Very different approaches to the game, these two. Gurney has spoken many times about his demeanour on stage, where he just is constantly battling to try and keep himself calm. Because if his heart rate goes up, if he gets excited, his darts go haywire. He can't keep them straight. That's why you'll see him taking deep breaths, trying to just keep on a level. Gerwyn Price, quite the opposite. I think he plays his best stuff when he is fired up. It's fascinating to watch these different styles come together like this. And at the minute, it's the big, shouty, aggressive Welshman who has the upper hand. Hit more 180s than anybody else in the Premier League this year, Daryl Gurney. He's only hit 1 in this game. Right, next to his favourite double.
Well, it's now 3 breaks to 1. And the cushion is 3 legs, and Gerwyn Price, 6 wins out of 8 previous encounters against Daryl Gurney. He's on the verge of another.
Gerwyn Price, if he wasn't already, is turning in to the Northern Irish number 1s. Big, muscly, Welsh bogeyman.
$97.
I don't think Gerwyn Price would mind taking on Martin Schindler later if the opportunity came around. I think he would thrive in a cauldron. There would no doubt be created for that one, but of course Ryan Searle will have plenty to say about that, and who knows, maybe Daryl Gurney will just yet. But he has got an awful lot to do here, the Ulsterman, who will of course soon turn his attention to other more pressing engagements.
Superchin will be competing at the Champions League, of course, ahead of the defence of his Grand Prix title. And as noticeably improved as it has been from Daryl Gurney since coming back from the summer break, he would love to just take something else into those big tournaments. Whether it be a win, whether it be another run to a final. He did make a final midweek in Barnsley. What, nearly a fortnight ago now. He's only beaten by Peter Wright. Peter Wright was taking out some devastating checkouts against him to to turn it his way, but that only brings him level with Gerwyn Price in this leg. And Price can wrap this up. Not going to. Not in this visit at any rate. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Gets him. Had he hit the 25, he would have guaranteed 1 dart at a double for the match when he comes back. If he comes back. He may not come back because double 12 will keep the Northern Irishman alive, and that's what he's got.
A break of throw, a break back for Daryl Gurney with a 1-4-4 checkout, just stopping Gerwyn Price in his tracks and keeping the match alive. 3 breaks to 2. A hold here, and suddenly Gerwyn Price might start getting very, very twitchy indeed.
Well, even though Gerwyn Price does have this incredible record against Daryl Gurney.
Wait for this.
140.
Winding up, I think, at least in his head, before he let go of the dart. But every single game that they have played has been close. In first to 6 encounters, it has always been, well, 6-6 in the Premier League, but then every other game has been 6-4 or 6-5. Their one meeting in a different format, a longer format, was at the Masters, and that was won 10-7 by Gerwyn Price. Had he come back, you know, if he hadn't taken that 144 out and Gerwyn had taken out the 79 for a 6-2 win, it would have been the most convincing victory we'd ever seen in clashes between these two.
132.
Well, as it is, it could be 6-4 again. Price would take that right now.
Yeah, he would.
91.
He'd take 6-5, but it'd be a stressful one. Treble 20 and bull. Bullseye. The line was good.
Going Uruguay 170.
Well, Gerwyn Price will explode if this goes, but it's not going to go. And he may well be thinking about the next leg, the all-important next leg for Gerwyn Price. It will be on his throw. Daryl Gurney, 2 darts at double 8. He missed 2 darts at double 8 before in this match in the 6th leg.
Gerwyn to throw first.
And that enabled Gerwyn Price to open up a 4-2 lead, but this time he finds double 8 and the lead is trimmed to 5-4.
100.
Once again, it's gone at least 10 legs between these two.
134.
Daryl Gurney just going about his business very quietly here, just ready to make his move maybe, but then again, Gerwyn Price, anything but quiet about that. That's a terrific, terrific response, isn't it? That was brilliant from Gerwyn Price.
Now then, Daryl.
What have you got?
The darts were just as good, the celebration far more muted. But here goes Gazzy again. Uses the bullseye well.
The mind games between these two, fascinating in this, well, 10th leg. It could be the last leg, but Daryl Gurney, don't write him off just yet. He'll move away from there.
Oh, unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
91.
That makes so. Could make a big difference, but Gerwyn Price is looking at 91.
Double-double. I think it's the right way to go. He just could not get it right.
71. Daryl
leaves himself double 10 for the match, unless Gurney can take the 61. Double 18. Gurney might be turning this around. A fantastic 11-darter.
11th final leg. It's Daryl to throw first.
Well, Daryl Gurney with immense character. He was 5-2 down after suffering that break of throw. He responded with a checkout of 1-4-4 in the 8th leg for a 15-darter. Then followed the 14-darter and then the 11-darter on the break for 5-5.
3 legs in 40 darts. We are talking 120 average for those 3 legs. We've seen bursts like that to turn games on the European Tour. Can he sustain it?
60 plays 60 so far as well. High first start for Gurney. And it's 60 more as well.
on the 144 checkout that Daryl Gurney took to save the match, you thought it might have just been prolonging it, but it might well have been the one shot that changed this contest entirely. Because having hit that, he only needed 25 more darts to win the next 2 legs, and now he's throwing for a spot in the quarterfinals and only a second win against Gerwyn Price in his career. The world number 5 does not have many players in world darts with as poor a record as he has against Gerwyn Price. He's never beat Phil Taylor in the 4 times he's met him. Michael van Gerwen has beaten him 15 times, but at least Gurney's beaten him a couple.
Needs a treble. Finds one. But even that might not be enough.
A ton 40 might be enough for Gerwyn Price to win it. Well, he comes down the board. And he does not find a treble at all. He should have been on a finish. He could well have been on a 2-darter. But as it is, the advantage is held by Gurney. Can he make it count? Bullseye to leave Shanghai? No, he's gambling. It does not pay off.
Very much in the balance, and Gerwyn Price just takes a moment to steady himself. This is another huge, huge moment.
90.
Again, the bullseye
25.
Gives Gerwyn Price a very decent setup shot. But will he get a go at the 92? He will, because that can't be finished having hit single 19.
93.
He is sat on top, Daryl Gurney, for a rare, rare win against the Welshman. Double-double. No, he goes treble and he gets it. 1 dart for a spot in the quarters.
86.
And the Welsh number 1 has missed it. Johnny Clayton, mismatched darts. Joe Cullen, mismatched darts. And both were knocked out at this stage of the International Darts Open this afternoon. Is the same thing happening to Gerwyn Price?
It's inside the wire. I thought it was good. There's not much to work with there. And that's inside the wire as well. And Gerwyn Price is invited back. Well, that was deceptive, that initial camera angle.
But double 3 is there, and Gerwyn Price manages to overcome Daryl Gurney. He could have won it 6-2. He very nearly lost it at the death. The Northern Irishman's horrific run against the Iceman continues.